We had 2 stories playing out this week, and occasionally 3 if we count Katie and Carter, which gave me the impression that someone at Bold and Beautiful had been listening to my weekly rants and raves. One of them could possibly go ahead. The other 2, on the other hand, managed to throw itself into reverse while one simply treaded in place. Let's look more closely. Is Thomas reliable? Hope spent the entire week caught between a rock and a hard place, so I felt very horrible for her. On the one hand, everyone at work insisted over and over again that Thomas was the only person who could save her line. The home front, however, Liam actually had the audacity to speak out and say that perhaps, just perhaps, Forrester could be saved by someone other than Thomas. The worried hubby maintained, "I don't care what Steffi's telling you. There are other considerations besides numbers. What does your sanity cost you? What does your safety cost? Just tell me with a straight face that you realize Thomas and your relationship have never resulted in anything positive." Hope insisted they had when he advised seeking for a new designer, which was essentially news to me. How closely did they search? Point. Contradiction. Hey, we all know Liam despises Thomas for a variety of reasons, some of which are both completely logical and absurdly absurd. But in this instance, he is undoubtedly speaking the truth, including my pick for the week's best line. Liam remarked, "Oh my God, Taylor always thinks that he's making wonderful improvement right before he turns around and does something psycho," in response to Hope pointing out that Taylor thought her son was making excellent development. Oh, and a few minutes later, Liam outdid himself with this gem, which included a very entertaining impersonation of his wife. In front of you and Steffi, he could figuratively hurl an intern out the window of the Forrester CEO office, and you would just shrug and say, "Oh, whatever." He is an exceptionally gifted designer. It's humorous because it's real, as they say. A few years ago, Thomas shoved Rick out the exact window Liam was talking about. The apologies tour keeps going. Also, Thomas asked Brooke to pardon his deeds, and I have to admit that Matthew Atkinson handled these sequences beautifully. Darned if we didn't even see genuine footage of the problematic teenager attending therapy with a professional other than his mother. Taylor was present at that session, okay, but still, it was an opening. It would be much easier for me to believe Thomas when he says, "I've had moments where I'm still drawn to her, but I'm not focused on her," if he was at least making an effort to move on with someone else. What the hell? The Bill/Sheila tale was barely mentioned in Friday's show, which instead concentrated on 4 different sets of individuals chatting endlessly about the Thomas/Hope scenario. Although the writers made an effort to make it as dramatic as they could, the outcome was obvious. There would have been no real purpose to the story if Hope hadn't brought Thomas home. Then they proceeded to make the most perplexing move ever. Suddenly, Douglas barged in and said he wanted to move back in with Liam and Hope after learning that his parents were co-workers. This implies that his choice to move in with Steffi and Finn was simply an attempt by the show's writers to play up a dramatic plot element, Douglas startling everyone in the courtroom, without any consequences whatsoever. But now that Hope has decided to take Thomas back at HFTF, Liam and Hope are clearly headed for serious conflict, so it will be interesting to watch how Douglas enters the picture. Will they use the child to manipulate Thomas and Hope and possibly instill suspicions about the situation in Liam's mind? Time will reveal. Plan, reach goal. I'm still not convinced by the Bill/Sheila/Deacon triangle. Why? If we're suddenly supposed to think Deacon and Sheila are madly in love, it baffles me why 2 of the 3 characters would risk all they've ever wanted as a couple. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel, Daily Bold Media, and stay with us.